Welcome, everyone. I'm glad to see you. It's nice to see the class is filling up again. So over the weekend, well, it was yesterday actually, I woke up and I thought to myself, what am I going to teach today? And I got all these flashes of poses. And the flashes of poses that I received in my mind, we're not going to be doing in here because they're not gentle. They were fancier poses. And I was like, okay, I know where we're going. And they required the binding of the arms, like birds of paradise. You know, birds of paradise, where you bind your arms and you're lifting one leg up and balancing. And the one inside angle where you're not just propping onto the thigh, but your arms are bound and you're really rolling open in your chest. And so that's why the room was so warm and stuffy in here when you arrived at the studio, because we had a lot of warm bodies and we were doing that vigorous type of work. We are still going to work on binding today, but we're going to be more gentle with it, obviously in this class. But when I sat down and was getting my physical postures down, I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and use this as part of my theme. And the reason why is it was showing up in conversations. For instance, Rob and I were having a conversation. Did you get, what's his name? Trevor. He's like from South Africa.
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah.
Trevor Noah.
Noah. Trevor Noah. Yes, thank you. He was watching something of Trevor's, and it was talking about banks and how banks will have you sign a contract, you know, when you're opening up a banking account. And it's actually, what did he tell me? Now I'm trying to remember how he told me this, so I'm not telling you the wrong information. Okay, I'm going to bypass what he told me and just say, Trevor was saying that in these contracts, it'll say on there that you have overdraft fees. But you're not actually required to sign that. You can actually cross that out of the contract and say, I don't consent to that portion. And you can still open a bank account with them. Did you guys know this?
No.
This is not common knowledge.
And I worked in a bank.
This is not common knowledge.
No.
Yeah. And so I guess now the administrative government, whatever, I think they're trying to pass a law that banks cannot charge overdraft fees. And think about it, because I mean, you're already obviously hurting and lacking financially. And then they're gonna charge you $35 for this, that, and the other. And they were showing how banks will actually mix up the charges, knowing that there's overdraft charges coming in, and they'll take the big chunk out first instead of the little chunk, so that you're charged $35 for each of the little chunks instead of the big one. You see what I'm saying? It's all corrupt. But anyway, the point is, even though you're signing a contract, you can actually change the contracts, okay? So I'm bringing this up because to bind means to connect, to contain, or to contract. And there was another thing that happened over the weekend where someone was referred to have Reiki with me. And I didn't know this person. I still do not know this person's last name. I do not know where she lives. I do not know what she does for a living. But I knew who the referral was coming from, so I trusted this person to come to my house, and we did Reiki. And we didn't converse a lot beforehand. And at the very end, after I'd given her all the impressions and messages I got, I was still a little confused. I was like, if you don't mind me asking, what's going on, you know? And she said, well, I'm in this great relationship. But let me backtrack. She goes, I was in a marriage where I was having a lot of kidney problems while we were dating. And I had like kidney stones like a few days before I got married. And the night before the wedding, I started questioning whether or not I should be marrying this guy. I started having a lot of self-doubt. I thought it was nerves. I thought to myself, my parents have paid all this money for the dress, the venue, all the people are coming. I'm expected to go through this wedding. I'm just going to do it. Well, the wedding was nice, but the marriage was bad because he wasn't a man of integrity. He cheated on her a lot, and she discovered multiple times and ended the marriage. Through the marriage, though, she continued to have kidney problems, and then she had her last kidney stone during the divorce, but she had been divorced, I think, at like 10 years. And she had never had a kidney problem since, right? So she was telling me, she was like, my body was trying to tell me what my mind couldn't decipher. And I wasn't listening to my body. Meanwhile, she waited 6 or 7 years doing a lot of self-healing work, from the divorce. And she finally decided, I want to date again. I want to be in a partnership again. And she started to date, and she met this guy who was fresh out of a divorce, who has 3 beautiful children. And they've been in a relationship for, I don't know, 2.5 years. And she's been kind of like co-parenting with him, with these children. And she's ready for marriage. She wants more. And he's not ready to commit. So when she was telling me this, I was like, oh, wow, he's not even been divorced 3 years. Yeah, he's not ready. He didn't even have any time to do his own self-healing and self-work. He just bounced into a relationship with you. I was like, you need to look at the big picture of everything. And if you're happy and in love, just stay happy and in love and let him have this healing time. And when he's ready, he'll ask, but you're too much in your head. Get out of your head about it. Just enjoy, And then speaking of contracts, I know Kimberly can relate to this. My sister's been going through breast cancer. And, there's all these things that you have to do if you want to be clear of the cancer, right? So she went through her 3rd chemotherapy. She's finished now. She just ended her 6th. But when she went through her 3rd, she was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And her doctors had to sit her down, and her family had to sit her down and go, look, you made a commitment. You started the treatment. You have to finish the treatment if you want to succeed in fighting this battle. And she had to muster up all her strength to continue to persevere through the treatments, because she had to remember, I made this commitment. I need to make this commitment for myself, my health, and my family. And so she finally did it. But that's hard to do when you're going through it, when you want to give up, and when you're suffering, and when you're hurting. So binding is not meant to be hurtful. It's not meant to be a struggle. It's not meant to be a striving point or a goal. So please don't create a goal out of it. The goal in yoga is one thing: freedom. How can we free up more headspace? How can we free up the stuff that we're holding in the heart? How can we free up our bodies instead of holding on to the stress and tension that we're carrying around? It's about the freedom, but it's also about reuniting. So yoga means to bind together. What are we binding together? Yes, we're going to be trying to bind the arms today, but that's not the true binding. The true binding is mind, body, spirit. And the true binding, when you create that wholeness and that connection of, the mind, body, spirit, that's going to help you to connect to the higher power. And that's what we're really trying to bind yoga with. So with that in mind, we're going to start on our backs. Morgan's like, yes. If you want to open your heart, you can take a bolster under your back. And if you want to be flat on your back, you can also have the bolster under your knees instead. We're going to start off in this position that is more restful. And we're going to take the time to center. Take this first moment, once you align your body, to focus in physically on your body, to notice how you're feeling. Are you feeling strong or weak? Is your energy high or low? Check in with your shoulders. And see if you can relax the shoulders, ground the shoulders. Once you take inventory of what's happening internally in your physical body, also notice the realm of your mind. And then set your intention to practice in a mindful and cautious way, especially when we work into these binds. The binds are not meant to be constrictive. The binds are meant to be an opening of the shoulders to open up the chest, which in turn opens up the heart and the breath. So make a commitment to yourself that if you feel like your breath is held or restrained when we're binding the arms, that you will do less or leave it out. Because it's the breath that can help us to create the binding, the yoking of what's important. Now just focus on your breath work. And feel as though you're breathing up into your heart. And then breathing all the way down to the soles of your feet. The inhalation and the energy rising is called prana. Infuse yourself with prana. And as you exhale, follow it all the way down. And this flow is called apana. Now that you've been centering, calming and focusing the mind, we're going to inhale, bend the knees. And when you bend the knees, you're going to separate your feet as wide as the sticky mat, and you're going to let the knees rock off to one side. And you'll inhale, lift the knees up, and you'll exhale, let them rock over to the other. So it's the windshield wipe twist. And you can do this flat on your back or from the bolster. Once you do this for about 3 sets, you can turn completely to your right side, lower down into your left palm, and then gently come up. Once you come up, we're going to continue with breath work. We're going to take the first 2 fingers to the third eye. And we're going to let the ring finger and the thumb hang down. We'll be swapping the fingers to open and close the nostrils. For now, close the eyes and just take a deep breath in through both nostrils. And then exhale, let the air go. Now lower the thumb to the right side and inhale through the left. At the top of the in-breath, close the left nostril with your ring finger, float the thumb, breathe out right. Keep that opening, breathe in right. Swap the fingers, breathe out left. Breathing in left. Breathing out right. In right. Out left. In left. This time as you exhale, lean to the right thigh. Inhale, rock back to center. Exhale, close the right, lift your ring finger, breathe out, lean left. Inhale up. Exhale right. Continue this process. So notice with this pranayama technique, we started off creating a rhythmic breath before we added in rhythmic movement. You want the movement to coordinate with your breath. There's different types of breathing techniques. Some are calming, some are cooling, some are heating, some are invigorating. And some like this one are balancing. So the balance that you're looking for today is effort and ease. Now, the next time you lean over to the left side, you're going to remove the mudra from the face. You'll inhale, come back up to the top. Pause to check in with the residual effects. And remember, anytime you need a balancing breath or any other type of breath, you can do it for much longer than that. And then open the eyes. You're going to swap how you crisscross your feet. It's the same thing. Totally fine. And we're going to circle the ribs. So think about the bottom portion of your ribs going around in a hula hoop. And so you may notice that your hips start to create the same kind of action as well. And then circle it the other way. Just trying to loosen up any stiffness here in the upper body. And then come back to center and let your hands fall down beside your hips. Inhale, lift your right arm skyward. Exhale, curve over to the left. You can be very dynamic as you lengthen through the right arm and fingertips. You can also be more relaxed. Dependent upon what you need and how it's making you feel and how it's affecting your breath. Now on your next inhale, let's gently come back to the top. And as we exhale, we're going to take that arm and we're going to see if we can cup a hold of the left arm. If you can't, you're just going to have it resting here at your sacrum, no problem. Now begin to lower the left ear towards the left shoulder. Feel how that gives you a deeper stretch in the side of your throat, side of your neck. You may even feel it coming down the top of the shoulder. We're going to emphasize the top of the shoulder now by releasing the back arm, sending the right arm to the right side, and letting the fingertips just barely hover. Relax the hand down. Inhale, pick the head up. Lift the left arm in the process. Exhale, slide over. Curving into Chandrasana. Creating a side bend. So open up the breath more. Go with a deeper intake of oxygen into that left lung. Then inhale, come back to the top. Exhale, the arm's going to slide behind you and it can stop anywhere along the way or cup a hold of the opposite arm. Lower the right ear to the right shoulder. Notice the difference between this side compared to the previous. Might notice which one is more open and more free. We'll take this a little deeper, slipping that left hand off to the side, extending it out, hovering right above the floor. And lower the hand and inhale, lift the crown. All right, we're going to extend the left leg. When you extend the left leg, you can open up the right hip. You're going to use your strap, and we're going to take the strap around this foot. Both ends of the strap are going to come around to the left side waist. Place it and holding it here beside you. Your right arm, if you're facing straight ahead, will only go so far. But if you twist, your arm can go much farther around behind your back. Grab that strap, and then you're going to turn back to face the front. Now you've got a bind, okay, with this right arm. Flex your left ankle and push down through your left thigh bone and lift up through your left arm. And so just being here, sitting upward, you can feel the work you're already receiving, hopefully. Just the action in the foot and the pressing of the thigh bone is going to activate the muscles of the leg. Elevating ourselves here, as well as the left hand, is going to create some strength in the erector muscles alongside the spine. You're probably feeling how your core has to be engaged as you're supporting your low back. And then, of course, the work here in the shoulder. So please don't feel like you have to fold, but if you want to fold, go ahead and descend. The left hand can come down anywhere to the ground or to your body or to your foot. You are trying to shine your heart outward. And the eyes can be out beyond the toes, or you can look down towards your knee. Whatever's more comfortable for your neck and better for your own alignment. Breathe. Maybe even add in an affirmation, left and right, and all around. Life's harmonies are mine. Isn't it funny how certain contracts we can feel suffocated by, and the same contract with another person we really want to commit to? Think about marriage at this point. It could be really any type of contract. It could be job related, right? You start off with one contract, it's great, and then it starts to become suffocating, or the work environment becomes toxic, and it's like, all right, I gotta leave this field and enter another. Inhale it slowly, come up. Your exhale is going to lower your left hand to the bent knee. Now let go of the strap, free up your right arm and curve over. Parita Dhanushasana. And then inhale, come back up. And then exhale, turn back to face the front. You're going to remove the strap from the right foot and you're going to take it around your left foot. So in case you didn't do the forward fold, we're going to get the forward folded now. So you're holding the strap, lifting your chest up, and then exhale, hinging. And then you're going to walk your hands down the strap towards the foot, elongating the vertebrae as you breathe in, and folding down as you breathe out. And then if you can reach the foot, you can hold the foot. You can even interlace your hands here. That works like the strap to keep and provide that flexion. And then you're going to put a little twist in your belly, pulling that belly button over towards the left thigh. And remove the strap, sit your down closer to that direction and come all the way up. All right, we're going to lift the right knee, straighten out that leg, bend the left knee, and open front and hip if possible. So you can just do the strap without the foot. So you can bind the foot with the strap and bring the strap beside the right hip. Your left hand can wrap around. Twist, you might be able to go deeper. And then turn back to face the front. Elevate the right arm. Spreading the toes, staying on the center of your heel, making sure the head of the knee is facing the sky. And see what you're receiving here. And then if you want to promote the forward fold, go ahead and dive into the hamstrings. Activate the core by spinning it towards the thigh. Perhaps plugging this thought in your mind, left and right, and all around. Life's harmonies are mine. Inhale, build up. Exhale, bring that hand down to the bent knee. You're taking a twist. Then free up the back arm, lift it back alongside your ear,
and cascade over the straight leg. Quadrita Janu Shirshasana. Next inhale, rise. And as you exhale, unwind from the twist. We'll take the regular Janu Shirshasana. Strap around the right foot. Lift your chest. Exhale, hinge forward. You're walking the hands towards the foot. You're elongating the vertebrae and balance. Your hands can clasp. You can maintain the same flexion. Just dial the belly button over towards the straight leg. Now we'll remove the strap from the foot, so gently come up. We'll slide the right foot back and then step the left foot over. So the knees are bent. We're gonna fold the shins. We're gonna do a seated cat-cow. So as you inhale, burst open the door of your heart, but make sure the shoulders are rolling back. And then as you exhale, pull that navel in and drop the chin to the chest. Sliding through, jutting the chin, lifting the gaze, cow tilt. And exhale, contracting the core, rounding the back, bowing the head, cat stretch. So think about already the poses that we've done. We've worked into many parts of the body already. Synchronize with your breath. One more round. And then as you inhale, come up. All right, we're gonna slide the left shoulder to the inside of the left knee, and the left palm can just rest on the floor. Then reach that right arm out and up towards the heavens above. You are rotating into a twist by pressing into the left arm and revolving through your belly. If it's difficult to gaze up towards the hand, don't worry about it. Find another comfortable position for your head and your neck. And then exhale, descend. All right, we're gonna lean over to the right side and then sweep the left arm out and up towards the head. Focus on your breath. The breath provides the life force that brings the pose more to life. But it also can gift us with presence and patience. All right, exhale, release. All right, we're gonna bring the soles of the feet to meet. We're gonna lift up to the crown of the head and we're gonna bow over the lap. Taking Baddha Konasana, the bound angle pose. Trying to work into the inner thighs and hips. Breathing away any stress, any tension, any illness, any fatigue. Opening more to the idea of self-acceptance. I'm affirming, secure in myself. I accept whatever it is. On your next inhale, gently come up. I'm going to give you a choice for your Malasana. So maybe your Malasana looks like this today. Maybe your Malasana is sitting on a block. Maybe you want to do it freestyle, where you're on your feet, the heels maybe up or down. The hands are coming to the heart. And if this is difficult for the hips, you can have your feet pointed forward, your knees bent, and try bear pose. If that's better for you like that. that better? Yeah. You're gonna be more in your quads. Still getting the hips a little too. So we're trying to expand and open the hips, because we're gonna be leading up to a, it's not really a fancy pose, but it's a pose that I wouldn't normally bring into gentle. We're gonna wait and save it for the end. But just let your hips settle, let them begin to open up. And then if you can, press through the feet and slowly come up to stand. Here, okay, good. And then walk the feet to the top of the mat. If you want blocks, you can have them available. Spread open through the base of the feet and ground down through the legs. Zip up through your midriff and bring the hands together to prayer. Look straight ahead with your eyes. As you inhale, the arms can reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. And as you exhale, take the arms out today. Swan dive halfway, and then stack your hands to that hip crease, let your shoulders roll back and your elbows flip in. And you're holding the jackknife pose here. Thighs rolling in, powering back. On your next out breath, go ahead and slip your hands down and roll down to your Uttanasana, your standing forward fold. Feel free to give a little movement to your head and your neck. Affirming nothing and no one on this earth can hold me down or back. Now, if you want to have those blocks beside the feet, go ahead and stand them up there. And we're going to inhale, step the left foot way back. When you step it way back, you're in that runner's lunge, the front knees aligned over the ankle, your back thigh is lifting and your back calf is powering behind you. Right here, we're just stretching it out, but we're gonna hop the back foot forward, plant the heel, and inhale, come up to warrior one. When you lift the arms up overhead, make sure that you feel evenly weighted in your feet. This way the torso is aligned over your pelvis. Square the hips more. Deep breath in. Slow breath out. And then slowly begin to straighten out the front leg. Keep your left arm skyward, and your right arm is going to thread behind your back. On your next exhale, you're going to push the tailbone back, and you're going to extend forward. And your left hand can come to the block, or you can pass the block and come lower if your flexibility provides. And then inhale, we're coming up. We're coming up and down 3 times, just so you know. Exhale down. So again, you can use the block to stabilize, or you can pass the block and descend lower. Yogi's choice. Inhale, coming up. Exhale back in. Now this time, discover where you want to maintain your hold. Can you squeeze the right hip in? And now release the back arm. Feel free to land it to the second block or to the floor. Feel free to stay stacked with straight arms or humbly bow. Pyramid. Giving ourselves over into the flow of grace. On your next inhale, come up halfway. Lunge the knee, but wiggle the left toes back. So you're returning to that lunge. All right, we're going to lose the blocks, plant the palms, and step to plank. Holding plank to build a little upper body strength. And you can still do this from tabletop if you're rooting the shins, activating your arms, and providing a little core strength. All right, let's rock forward, lower down to chaturanga. Inhale, build to a back bend. And exhale, back it up to extended child's pose. Inhale, rock forward, hands and knees. Exhale, curl the toes, launch into downward facing dog. From Adho Mukha Svanasana, rest through your hands and feet, but shine upward through your seats. Free up your breath. Now travel the feet forward towards the top of the mat. Lower down again, Uttanasana. Inhale, root down to rise all the way up to Urdhva Hastasana. 2 lines of energy, power down through the legs, lift up everywhere else, and then exhale, swan dive, halfway. Bring the crease of the wrist to that crease of the hips. Jackknife pose. And now roll it on down, Uttanasana. Bring the blocks back in beside your feet. Inhale, step your right leg way back, one to the front foot. Pluck up your back thigh, press to the calf and heel. Hold it steady. Now hop the back foot, just a baby step forward, plant it down. Once you find your stability, come all the way up. Feet first, to firm your foundation. Firm up your core. Set your drishti. Tuning to the will of higher power. Now slowly straighten out your left leg. Bring the left arm and thread it behind the back. When you're ready, exhale, forward fold. The half bind. Again, stopping at the block or moving beyond. Inhale, lifting up. Strong legs. Exhale, now bring in some flexibility to the legs. One more, inhale, coming up. And then exhale, bring it down. Again, you can stop the block or go lower. Now remove your back hand, being stacked on blocks or floor, being more modified or bowing over and letting go. Yogi's choice. There's benefits to both. Tune in and see which is more relevant for you. Inhale, lift halfway. Lunge the front knee, wiggle the right toes back, leave the blocks, plant the palm, step to plank. Once you align in plank, breathe. Feel free to modify, lowering knees below hips. And then let's all go through that vinyasa. Building more upper body strength as you drop down. Building flexibility of the spine as you open into the back bend. And then exhale, this time go all the way back to downward facing dog, unless you need to pass through child's. If you need child's, of course, incorporate it in. Make the practice your own. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and travel the feet forward to the top of the mat. Once the feet come forward, bow over. Inhale all the way up to stand. And exhale, hands to hearts. All right, so this half of the room can face the middle. This half of the room can face the middle. You're just not going to mirror each other. Your feet are going to widen. A good stance between the feet. And then rotate your right foot 90 degrees. We're going to lunge the right knee. We're going to prop onto the thigh. And we're gonna lift the other arm towards the sky. But this arm reaching up is gonna be the one that we're gonna bind. So we're gonna flip that hand and then thread it behind the back, slide it across the sacrum. You might be able to take it to the waist. You might have enough flexibility to even hold the inner thigh. Again, don't struggle, don't strive. See what's possible as long as you can still openly and effectively breathe. All right, let's free up the back arm by lifting it overhead and then slowly come up to stand. Right foot rotates in, left foot's gonna rotate out. We're gonna lunge the left knee. Same approach, propping onto the knee at first and taking that right arm in the air. We'll bind the top arm, rotating the hand, threading it behind the back, sliding it down. That shoulder's not happy with it. Leave it out. All right, inhale, free up the arm. Push down through the sole of the foot, gently come up. Relax your arms now, turn that left foot in. Step one foot over, and then the other foot in. Yeah, that worked out. Okay. We're gonna bind the arms and tree. Now, when I say bind the arms, we're not doing anything fancy. We're not even doing reverse namaste hands because that's not very gentle either. What we're gonna do is either clasp hold of a wrist or forearms or elbows, right? Something of that nature. It's gonna feel weird because we're used to having branches. We're gonna be a barren tree, okay? So flatten your left foot. Don't cross your arms yet because you may need your hand, right, to bring the leg or foot higher. Open up your right hip. So your heel can rest above the ankle. You can slide it onto your calf, or you can bring it over the knee to the inner thigh. Then take the arms behind your back. Let the shoulders slide down, the sternum pick up. You may want to cast your gaze about 6 feet in front of you towards the floor. All right, we're gonna relax the arms. And we're gonna lower the right foot. You guys are rocking the balance. It can be a challenge when you're facing each other this way, just like if you were looking into a mirror. So if it totally throws you off, you can always turn away. All right, we're gonna broaden and flatten the right foot. We're gonna open up from the left hip and determine, do I need that little foot as a kickstand, or can I build it up to a higher degree? Remember how you crossed your arms before. If not, we're habitual creatures. You probably are going to do it the exact same way. So flip it. Calm. Voice. Calm. Voice. Good, release your hands and your foot. Sweet. All right, we're gonna bring it back towards the floor. So if you want to come towards the top of your mat, if you want to come down into the squat or bear, the bear, the feet are parallel. If you're in squat, the feet turn out, knees open out. So in that last class, we were doing birds of paradise. We were using this pose to get into it.
We're not doing that. It's not gentle. But we are gonna do something similar, okay? So instead, just in case you don't know what I'm talking about, please don't follow my lead. Birds of Paradise is this. Okay, we're not doing that. But we are gonna do something similar. Come on down safely. The first thing we're gonna do is determine whether or not we want or need the strap. So remember when we did this number for the warm up, we're gonna go deeper into this pose. So it's gonna look like this. If you need a strap, you're gonna have it behind you and accessible at your left thigh. Okay? Because this time your left shoulder is gonna dip down and your left hand is gonna go under to find and hold the strap. We'll reach that right arm up. We'll circle it behind the back. Never not be able to find that other end strap. That's kind of the idea. It's possible to do it with your hands sticking to your body and not even having the strap. Okay? So if the strap, if you're fumbling with it, just let it go. If your hands meet, you don't even need the strap. Okay? So the chest is where we roll open, but this is not the pose we're going for. So we're gonna turn back to face the front. Now I want you to notice, because we're leaning over, don't you feel more weighted in that left sit bone? We're gonna bring the weight to the right. When we rock the weight to the right side, that should help to lift the left foot. We're containing the leg with the bind, whether the hands are together or apart. And then you're gonna try to point the foot and stretch it out. It may not be perfect, but you're just trying. So this is our gentle birds of paradise. And then release the foot, release the bind. Any questions? Because we've never done that here. Okay, let's try the second side. Right shoulder slides down. Hand goes under. And then you can determine, do I want that strap or not? The left arm reaches up and then loops behind you, perhaps finding the strap, perhaps letting it go, perhaps meeting the hands. And you can hold the twist a second, but that's not the pose we're going for. We're gonna shift the weight, elevate the right foot, maybe point the toes, and extend the leg. Yes, nice. Awesome. Okay, now you can sit up any way you want. Your legs can be straight. I'm gonna sit this way. This is not as gentle, but I just feel like doing it. You can sit cross-legged too. All right, so think about all the binds we've been doing. The arms behind the back. We want to bring the arms forward now as a counter. So you're gonna thread one arm under the other. I don't care which, just remember which way you lose. The back of the hands are gonna try to come together or even intertwine all the way up. And then we're gonna hold our eagle arms. And breathe. So I told you about the Reiki and I asked her, like, what's really going on? One of the first messages I got was, you're so in the side of your head, you're overthinking something. Can you stand back and get the bigger picture? Right, we're doing eagle arms. It's about gaining the bird's eye view, the bigger perspective of things. When I was at her heart, I had this vision of Jesus coming in and just integrating into my body. And it was giving me the message, she has everything she needs inside.
when I moved over to another part of her body, another message was, I can't even remember what the message was, but it tied into what was going on with her. But basically it was saying, you have everything you need. You're good as you are. So she was creating a situation that was unnecessary. All right, let's release, and then we're gonna hook the other way. Hook the arms the opposite way. They may or may not intertwine this time. See what's possible. Upper arms are more parallel to the floor. Fingertips point upward. Breath stays vibrant. We're gonna start our cool down. When you're coming to the floor, I want you to bring a block with you. Bend the knees. Push down through the feet so your tailbone tucks and lifts away from the floor. And let that block slide up underneath your sacrum. Let your arms just rest, okay? The palms can be open or down turned, doesn't matter. This pose actually does help to cool the body down. It's also calming for the mind. On your next in breath, I want you to sail the left leg up. Feel as though you're going to put your footprint up on the ceiling. Keep lifting, 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 pushing up and away. And now cross the left ankle over the right knee. Just relax into the pose, even though you're going to feel that block kind of cutting into you a little bit more on this left side. Be here and breathe here. Let's plant the left foot. Inhale, let's take the right leg up. Flex the ankle. Power up to the foot. Create that nice engagement and energization. And now take the ankle over the left knee and relax into this opening and into this shape. You'll get a little bit more weighted on that right side of your low back. Good, now release the right foot. Tuck and lift away from the block. Tuck and lift and hold 3 breaths. Hold 1. Hold 2, fire up those glutes and hamstrings. And hold 3, slide the block away and roll it down 1 vertebra at a time. And then let the knees just rest into each other. And your arms are going to lift straight up towards the ceiling. Your arms are going to create an X shape. So cross the arms and then let the fingertips just kind of drizzle down towards your outer shoulders. Instead of using the hands to cup the shoulders, just let the arms and hands relax. Keep the elbows pointed up. You should have space in front of your nose to be able to breathe. You may feel these points around the shoulder blades. They're getting some nice acupressure. And this is also another counter position for the arms after we've been binding. And inhale, lift the arms straight up again. Exhale, cross the opposite way. Create the X shape where the elbows cross over if possible. And then the hands release. Free up the face, you can breathe. I was telling the last class, I can't not help think of Kate Ermy in this pose. She always did this at the end of her classes. It makes me miss her. One last breath. And now gently uncross your arms. We did a lot of work with the arms and shoulders today. You can determine here how it feels to be in this position. Maybe this is your Shavasana. Maybe you want the Stonehenge created to elevate the legs. Maybe you just want a simple bolster under your knees. But I'll let you choose. If you grab the towel, feel free to cover the eyes. If you grab the blanket, feel free to use it as a weight or as covering or as a pillow. So there's certain bindings that are uniting, that are positive, that are lifting, helpful, and supportive. There's other ways that are binding that become more like bondage. And so if you want something to be contemplative about, you can consider what allows you to experience the freedom that you deserve, that is rightfully yours, that allows your spirit to soar. You may experience that if you've really used your breath and your focus as a way to blend and to harmonize your mind, your body, your spirit. You might feel more connected to source energy, to the creator. Or you may discover when you go inside, there's something holding you that you need to be released from. So allow this time to be your inner meditation on such. Take deeper sips of breath. Activate the extremities of the body. Perhaps curling in. Choosing another exit for your pose. Coming up to take a seat when you're ready. Hands together. Prayer position. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We all walk away from this practice being free and at peace from anything out of our control, anything imposed upon us by another, or any internal stress waves of our own. Light in me honors and bows the beautiful light in each of you. All of you for showing up today. I hope your shoulders are not going to be too sore.